Good afternoon. Welcome to my blog. My name is JanStephen Cavanaugh. If this is your first time here, a 300-word introduction to what I'm about. Otherwise, scroll to about the 2.5-minute mark of this tape for today's blog. I hold a doctorate in the field of human development. I have the markings of an old man much traveled and maybe a little wisdom. I think of myself as doctor to planet Earth humanity. Well, somebody has to do it. As my patient, I offer my observations, my diagnosis, my prognosis on matters most particularly of war and warming. These I regard as existential threats. This polarity I regard as an existential threat to my patient. They are the same thing, an assault on Mother Earth, patriarchy gone mad. As the prophets prophesize, I am hopeful that the planet Earth humanity will grow into a law-based civilization and an age of peace. Planet Earth humanity, that's the whole of us. Just as in this age, with the World Wide Web and IT at our fingertips, the power to make that happen. That unrealized planet Earth humanity global will, now unrealized, is what stands between us and an age of peace. What I observe is that the governments on planet Earth may be well intended, but for sure are inept at saving us from the catastrophe that awaits our grandchildren by the numbers. The alternative, there is no in between. An age of peace can only happen from the ground up, reaching up for what is already given, reaching down justice. My hope is to kickstart a global conversation to build the trust, the key variable, the key that unlocks the door to all of this, to gather the global will to get it done. I speak as a voice of peace, with Buddha as my mindset and Jesus as my guide. As we face a new dawn in our epic changing time. Now to today's blog. Entitled Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, Man of Peace, April 5, 2026. To describe the Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini as a man of peace will seem blasphemous to the majority of you of the Western ear. State-sponsored propaganda never misses an opportunity to portray Iran as this evilness ruled by Satan about to destroy all of us. It's on the news every day. One might wonder, is the writer sane to think such a thing? The Ayatollah, a man of peace? Well, I did. It was when I realized that in the matters of atomic weaponry, the great teacher forbade their development. To note also, Iran is a constitutional republic with a democratically elected president, a theocracy. Iranians overwhelmingly chose an Ayatollah in 79 because he promised to overcome the tremendous gap between the rich and the poor. Is geared towards helping the poor and to keep Iran independent. Those are the two big promises. Also to make them a more just society as well. A lot of corruption. To undermine the Ayatollah's goal, that economic plan, that was a pillar of his popularity, if you will, the USA imposed economic sanctions to stir rancor. The nuclear issue is a red herring to hide Israel and US wrongdoing. Women's rights is a hierarchical order of concern and is not the focus of Iranian women in existential survival mode. We observe how the West sentimentalizes women's rights. We did it in Afghanistan, to starve the women of Afghanistan, to justify making war on the women of Iran. Iran is portrayed as a state sponsor of terrorism. How ironic. Consider the facts. Look up the data. There are studies on this. If ever there was a state sponsoring terrorism, it is USA. It's us. In keeping with international rules of war, Iran does support legitimate organizations defending against expansionist Zionism gone mad. It's hard to say, but there's some truth to it. Israel is a genocidal nation state. I read the Psalms every morning. The prophets of old decry what has become of this practice of Judaism, far from the Torah, as Israel is the foreground of that. That Khomeini sat at home knowing they were gunning for him. I sometimes think as he heard the bombs coming in, because you do, he's thinking to himself, maybe I should have gone nuclear. He was murdered for Islam's stance forbidding nuclear weapons. And Ayatollahs can overrule that in certain circumstances. He didn't. Given the existential threat to humanity from these weapons, he stood against them. Risked his life. If that does not make him a man of peace, then I know nothing of what it means to be a man of peace. God help us.